Here's how to code Python without installing anything. Error handling, but I know last episode I was gonna do classes, but I decided to change it up a little. So the first thing I'm gonna introduce in error handling is the try function. So the try function enables you to stop errors before they happen. So if I say print with nothing in it, and then I click run, it'll say bad input. Whereas if I use like a try loop or try function, so I say try and then a colon and then the print, and then I do except print not valid. Now, a try is kind of like an if loop, except it's like the function states is try. And an except loop is like an else. So it's like if this does not work and the result is an error, it'll print not valid. So if I click run, it'll just say not valid. Now, there's also an else function that lets you execute code even when there's no error. So if I do else print no error, but if I click run, it'll still say not valid because there is an error. So if I just do random stuff, and then I say, and then it says no error, and since the try doesn't result in an error, it also prints what was in the try loop. And finally, there's a finally loop. So a finally loop is basically, it executes the code if there's an error or not. So if I do executes anyway, and I click run, it'll say random stuff, no error, and executes anyway. But if I make this not valid, and then I click run, it'll say not valid, and this executes anyway. Now, that is the first half of error handling. Now, I'll tell you how to handle errors. So if I do print x, and then I click run, it says x is not defined because it thinks it's a variable. And in this case, it's very straightforward because it says x is not defined. So if you make something like x equals 1, or 2 equals, it'll say x is not defined because you accidentally put 2 equals there. But when I click run with 1 equals, it is now fixed and it says 1. Now that is a basic error in error handling, and that will be it for this video. And the next video, I'll talk about data tables, and after that, libraries, and then we'll cover classes. So I'll see you guys in the next parts.